Hey everyone, and welcome back to Alex Lifeson month here on my channel, day 28. Now, I featured this solo to the camera eye yesterday on day 27, so today on day 28, I figured I'd show you guys how to play it. So then, let's not waste any time here with my usual chit-chat and get started right away with this one, shall we? Let's close in here a little bit on the fretboard. Good then, so we're in standard tuning for this one, as is typical of Rush, and we'll be soloing in two different keys, C sharp major and C major. Getty is bouncing back and forth between C sharp and C, and Alex is following along within the solo with each key change. Pretty sure that this is all major scale work going on here in this one, if I'm not mistaken. He may grab one outside the box note here or there, but as far as I can tell, he's soloing pretty much within the major scale. Going to break this up into four separate parts, and going to play through what we're going to call part one, the opening of the solo, and then we'll dig into part two. So this is part one. So we start on the C sharp note there at the 9th fret of the high E with a slide into it. Then we're going to pick it again and go 11, 13 of the high E. Pick that again and give it a half step bend. Release off to 12. Now we're going to grab 15 of the B string, and then 12 of the G. We're going to pick that 12 again, and then we're going to go 13, 15 of the B. And then a quick roll up to 15 of the G. Finishing up with this. Little D shape here at the 12th fret position. 12, 13, 12, E, B, G. Good. So that is part one. Let's move on to part two. All right, part two goes something like this. So we're sliding into the 9th fret, the C sharp again, on the low E string this time. And then we're going to go down to the 8 of the A, pick it twice, the second time we're going to slide it into 9. And then we're going to do a very quick hammer on after that slide to 11 of the A and roll down to the 11 of the D. And then we're going to hit that note again and then go 10, 11 of the G. And give that a half step bend. Now we're going to pick that note again while it's bent a half step, release it right off into a trill between 10 and 11, and then back it up to 9. Something like that. Back onto the 10, half step bend, off to 9 again, down to 10 of the B for a half step bend. And then before we move on in the solo, we're gonna pick that bend again. So from the beginning of this section. Now these little half step bends here on the 10s, try to give a little pinch harmonic to them. You know? So that's the end of part two. Let's move on to part three. All right, part three, we're into this. So we're sliding into 13 of the high E string, You're going to pick it twice, and then you're going to pick it one more time, and then you're going to jump on to 16, and then you're going to go back off to 13 with a little pull off, and then you're going to do a little triplet. Kind of like that, and then you're going to repeat that twice. Kind of like that. And then you're going to do 3 straight shots, 16, 13, back and forth 3 times. Jump on to the 16 of the B string. Full step bend release off to 14. Right back into a full step bend at 16. Release that bend off to 13. Now, this little section here, these bends, lots of pinch harmonics going on here. He's grabbing some really high note pinch harmonics here, and I'm not sure where he's getting them. Maybe back here somewhere. Little full step bends here at 15. And really grabbing some pinch harmonics. Bounces back off to the 13 before going at it again. And I think there's more than one guitar going on here, but a little section here. Right? Now, in my performance video, I went up here. It sounds, that note, that right there, like 18 of the high E with a full step bend, so that note right there is fairly prominent, so he's somehow grabbing that note somewhere in here with the pinch harmonics. Really hard to replicate. He can't replicate it live. There's a couple of live videos of Alex playing this, and he just grabs onto that 15 and just bends it a bunch of times, not really hitting the harmonics that he does on the studio version. Right there, I think. Really high-pitched squeals. Really hard to replicate. There it is. Right there. Anyway, so that's pretty much that little section there. Let's run through it one final time before moving on. And that's the end of part 3. Let's move on to part 4. All right, part 4 is this quick little repeating lick. So this little lick here, starting on that C sharp again. So we're sliding into that. Oh, well, we're just jumping right into it, I think. So we're going to hit that twice. And then we're going to start this little repeating pattern. Pulling off from 13 back off to 9 of the high E. Grabbing the 12 of the B and then back to the 9. Yeah, so I think you're hitting that 9 on the upstroke every time. So downstroke, downstroke, upstroke. And then you get that whole thing rolling really quickly. You're going to play that for 4 full bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to back it up one position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the second time you're only going to play it for 2 bars. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to do this to finish up the solo. So we're pulling off 12 to 10 to 8, and then just reversing it. And then we're just going to go 8, 10, 12, I think 3 or 4 times. And then the final 3 are kind of like that. And then we're going to grab the 9th fret of the G and giving it a half step bend to finish the solo. He doesn't do this live because he jumps right back into the rhythm parts. So that little section. Right? So that whole section nice and slow. And that is how you play the solo to the camera eye by Alex Lifeson. Let's run through the whole thing nice and slow and then we'll be done. And there you go, my friends. That is how you play the solo to the camera eye, Alex Lifeson and Rush. Certainly hope that helped you out. If it did, please hit that like button. Drop me a subscribe if you haven't done that already, as that would be awfully kind. Hope you're well out there in your little guitar corner of the world, wherever that may find you. And we will see you next time. Cheers.